In this video, we're going to cover this question: what actually counts as a relapse and what doesn't? Lots of people slip back into the addiction or the practice, not essentially the addiction, but the practice of watching porn because they slipped, something happened, and then they watch porn and they feel like, well, did this ruin all the progress that I just made? I'm going to be covering that in this video, so let's keep watching. Let's jump right in. Now, there's a difference between a slip and a relapse. All right, a slip essentially is more like you basically didn't keep up with the practices that you essentially had been doing that got you out of the addiction. But some way, somehow, you went back to watching. You saw something. You got an experience that day. You didn't take care of the spiritual forces that were trying to put you into that addiction, put you back into that addiction. And then you, that night, you went ahead and opened up those old links that you remember. And then you had one of those encounters and you feel like you've wrecked everything. That was a slip. All right. Now, a relapse is where you decide the next day that you're not going to continue with the practices that you have been carrying out to be free from pornography. You're just going to languish in the shame. You're going to sit in that shame and then wait for the next night to continue the spiral and to continue consuming pornography. All right. So all you had was a slip. Don't let it become a relapse by sitting in the guilt, sitting in the shame and brooding over it, and then owning the identity of someone who has relapsed. Okay. If you were exposed to triggers that you didn't take care of, if you allowed yourself to take your phone into your bedroom because you thought that you had mastered the addiction, if you allowed yourself to watch content that triggered those passions on the inside of you, and then you didn't follow all of the steps that we've been talking about on this channel and in all the videos that have preceded this one, and then you had an encounter, the previous night, that doesn't equal a relapse. Don't call it a relapse. All right. The Bible does say we will have what we say, and many people have not experienced a relapse, but they essentially talked a relapse into being. So all you've done is had a slip. Now, this is one thing that capitalizes on a slip, because people have an all or nothing thinking about recovery. They're like, for me to be fully recovered, I must never, ever slip. All right. Now, that's a very dangerous mindset to have. Does it mean that you have a loose attitude towards maintaining your discipline and ensuring that you do not let yourself get back into old patterns and habits? That's not what that means. What I'm talking about is this: whenever anyone decides for themselves that if I ever have one slip, if I ever, like there are situations like, one of my clients had a slip, and he called me right away to say I slipped. And then I built him back up and said, look, this is only a slip. All you have to do is get up and double down on everything that you've been doing. All right. See yourself like you're a child learning how to walk. If a child trips and falls, they don't sit down there and whine and cry until they're 100 and say, well, I slipped and fell. That means I'm never going to walk. All right. You always have to see yourself as one who is making progress. You are always making progress when you pick yourself up and then you keep going. As long as you stay with the program, you are going to succeed. And I need you to also understand that patterns matter more than streaks. Okay. You need to build up patterns in your life. You need to build up patterns, what you do every day. We've talked about it in the old videos, what you do first thing in the morning, what you do whenever you see a trigger, what you do before you go to bed. Okay. And then repeat. You have to build up those patterns. Are you doing what is required? If you slipped, and I'm talking to you, if you clicked on this video and you decided, okay, I want to hear what he has to say about slipping back into watching pornography for one reason or another. I happened on a video on Facebook or on X or somewhere that led me down a rabbit hole. I mean, the internet is such a minefield. Okay, you see all kinds of things that trigger that thing on the inside of you to click, and then you begin to see things that you shouldn't be seeing. All right, if you slipped, don't trash your progress. Okay, Pray, ask the Lord to forgive you, forgive yourself, and then resume your discipline. Go back to what you started doing. Now, there's always a pattern to slipping, and you have to ask yourself, what changed before you slipped? What was it that happened? What allowed the slip to take place? Okay, the relapses always begin with your mindset. What's changed in the way you're thinking? What did you not continue doing? What was adjusted that shouldn't have been adjusted? You need to run some forensics on what happened so that when it tries to happen again, you block it. All right, that is essentially what the advice I have for you. And then if you slip, that's not the time to give up. It's time to double down. That means you double your resolve, you double your discipline on where the phone stays before when you're about to go to bed. You double your resolve on getting rid of things that trigger that addiction, okay, that trigger that hunger to see those videos. And then you just need to increase your efforts. If you're going to pray for 2 minutes to deal with the spirit of pornography every morning, make it 4 minutes. The program that I help people with, I provide playlists of books that you listen, or audio books that you listen to, that you need to listen to and double down on listening to it. So if you listen to the books for an hour, do 2 hours. If it was 2 hours, do 4 hours. You need to double down. All right, that is what you do when you slip. You know that, okay, I messed up, I slipped, I double down. Okay, like I said, my clients had that experience, and that's what we did. I said, look, you need to double down. I gave him the playlist. I told him, look, you double down on everything. In fact, for him, I told him, don't keep the phone in your apartment. Take it to your neighbors. Leave your phone in your neighbor's house. I did. Because you need to be extreme when you're dealing with an extremely dangerous habit like pornography is. And then finally, you need to seek stability after setbacks. When you've doubled down, now it's time for you to simply keep doing what you're doing. Be stable about it. Don't change up your routine. When you're in the middle of a recovery process, that is not when you begin to mess with your routines. It's not when you begin to mess with your timetables. That's not where you begin to go places you didn't plan to go. You stay within a routine for at least 6 months to ensure that you cement yourself in recovery. All right. And then finally, don't quit. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. All right. You're making progress. You're heading up there. You're about to make it. Don't give up on yourself. If you're watching this and you're saying, well, I haven't started the journey, go to the first video in this series and then just start watching the videos so you get to know what I'm talking about. I've talked about a bunch of things. What does he mean, deal with the spirit of pornography? I talk about it in the earlier videos. So please, if you haven't, go back to the earlier videos and start from the very first video where I told my story and I begin to tell you how to get out of the spirit of pornography. Now, I'm going to add a caveat here, okay? And that caveat is this. Your success in being free from pornography is proportional to your commitment to the program. I don't promise you that if you just start this, you're going to be free tomorrow. But I can promise you that if you will pour your soul into the process, you will be free very quickly, sooner than you imagine. All right. So you have to start from the very beginning, understand everything that I'm talking about, and then begin to take it from there, step by step by step. That's the way the process works. Now, let me know in the chat if this is your first time of watching this video, and just let me know what you think about this video and how it has helped you to recover from a slip. And also, if you like what you heard, please give this video a like. It lets YouTube know that more people like you need to hear this content. And let me know your thoughts about some of the techniques that I've talked about in the videos. I know that some of them are unorthodox. They aren't the things that you hear regularly from people who deal with recovery from addictions, but these are principles that in my experience have worked 100% of the time. So let me know your thoughts in the chat, and let me know if you want to engage with me, to have a conversation with me. I will have a link in the description that will tell you how you can reach me directly, and then we can have a session and then talk with each other and see whether there's something I can do to help you further along on your journey towards recovering completely from pornography addiction. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.